We are here at the Yacht Club Liverpool and the smell is amazing. Head chef, this is your gaff as well, Mr. Adam Franklin. Global Scouse Day is just days away.
Days.
So we had to find out a little bit more about it. Now my mum hopefully won't be watching because she won't give me the recipe, so I don't know how to cook our favourite dish in the city.
Okay.
So it's down to you to show me.
Well, there's a million different recipes, and that's what we're here today. The argument is, do you use beef or do you use lamb? Is it pickled cabbage? Is it pickled beetroot? I'm a beef fan. I'd like a very, very traditional scouse. If you mess with it too much, it's still a fabulous dish, I'm sure, and it's probably the healthiest thing that you're going to eat that week, but it's not scouse anymore. I don't brown the meat, which a lot of chefs would.
So browning the meat is putting it on a pan first.
So yeah, sealing, sealing the meat. I don't think scouse needs that. That's knocking it towards like a beef bourguignon.
Okay.
So I like it very, very traditional, where we start off with a big pan of stock, about that big, reduce it all the way down.
So this is stock. Can we get a shot of this? So is this gravy? Is this oxo cubes? Tell us about this.
So this is literally, we roast beef bones and vegetables, and we start off, as I say, in a big pan like that, reduce it all the way down so it's really rich. But you can use oxo. I'd say 99% of the scouse that's ever been produced ever has been made with a base of oxo.
So at home, obviously, people won't have
they're not going to roast bones and do all that. As a restaurant, we do that anyway. So for our scouse, which we sell in the front bar, we start off like that.
Okay.
We then use chuck beef. So that's a beef from the front of the animal. It's got nice marbling of fat. Scouse needs a little bit of fat in it. Fat coats your mouth and holds the flavour molecules to your taste buds for longer.
So let's talk about fat, because obviously people are trying to do all they can to avoid it at the moment, but it does taste good. It really does.
It actually, it makes things taste good because, as I say, it holds the flavour to your taste buds for longer. So that's why a sausage roll tastes better than an iceberg lettuce.
So we need a nice bit of fat on there.
Absolutely. So we'll pop the beef in again. Very chefy thing to do to seal everything off. But in scouse,
just putting it in.
Absolutely, just putting it in. It doesn't need it. And then carrots. Carrots are going to give us loads of flavour.
So you don't cook these before or anything?
Nothing at all.
In, raw carrot?
Just straight in, raw carrot. And then we've got onion, an absolute must. That's where the majority of your flavours coming from. And then spuds. There's recipes, even the recipe on our Global Scouse Day website. Dave Critch, he makes it different than me.
So are these cooked?
No, so they're just Maris Piper.
So they're raw potatoes?
Absolutely, raw potatoes, Maris Piper. On some of the recipes, you'll put a little bit in finely chopped, so that just thickens the sauce. Okay. I just like, again, the spuds to go in, and that's going to cook down.
So that is pretty basic, because you'd think there was a lot more to it than that. That is all you do for a nice bowl of scouse?
That's it. It's as simple as that. That's it. That's old school.
And how long stewing or cooking would you do?
3 to 4 hours.
Right.
So I put the spuds in whole. I like to serve it quite soupy. And then if people want it more stewy, then bash a spud up with your fork.
Or a nice bit of crusty bread, maybe.
Oh, you've got to have crusty bread. Got to have crusty bread with it. And then right at the end, 3 seasonings. So a little bit of salt, and then some black pepper.
Yeah.
To give it a background, that does add a flavour to it, but then some white pepper, because that just puts a little bit of background heat in there as well, without being spicy.
As well.
Absolutely.
Now, is there any variations that people can try? Because obviously that's our scouse. That's the one that's come from Norway, and was called
Lobscouse.
Lobscouse,
which is where we get.
That's why we're Scousers.
That's why we're Scousers.
Any variations that maybe you've tried? If people do want to experiment a little bit, my mum does all sorts lately with scouse. It's not very good, Mum, so change your ways, get back to the way you were. But what can people do if they do want to experiment?
If they want to experiment, go for it. It's not going to be scouse anymore, let's be clear about that. We're protecting scouse here. I've had scouse in the city with peas in it. I've had it with, some people put swede or turnip in there. Some people put asparagus in there, we were talking about before. That makes it fine dining. That's haute cuisine as far as I'm concerned. I think, I was speaking to Ellie about a veggie scouse, and, definitely not putting tofu in there.
No, we don't want that.
No, but this is as traditional as it gets.
Well, that looks amazing. So I'm coming back in 3 or 4 hours, and this pan is coming with me. Global Scouse Day is this Sunday. Just really briefly, we're running out of time. Why do we need to get involved in this?
Because this dish is going to disappear from the menus. We've tackled it for the last 4 years. I think we've solved that problem. It's not going anywhere. It's a celebration of what we are and what we eat in Liverpool.
Okay, Adam, thank you. Looking forward to this. Adam from the Yacht Club Liverpool. Global Scouse Day is this Sunday. Talking of scouse, someone you've cooked scouse for is appearing in Panto at the Epstein.
Okay.
Ricky Tomlinson.
So we did the catering for Ricky Tomlin's Freedom of the City last year, I think it was. And I was made up he picked Scouse for the main course.
On the menu. What a link this is.